Hi YouTube, welcome back. I'm here with River again. Say hi, River.
Yeah.
No, say hi.
Hey.
That's weak.
Yeah.
Say it louder. Say hi.
Hey.
Alright, whatever. Okay, event 20.3 from Road Royalty. It is now Monday afternoon. I've just posted my score, and I completed this a few days ago on Saturday. I figured one attempt at this was all I needed. I felt like I had a decent game plan going in, and an event like this with a couple elements, one longer one fast one. I really like these. This was definitely a struggle and the hardest event of the competition so far, but probably my favorite overall. So my goal with this was to manage heart rate on the first 4K, because we had to take into consideration the total time for the 10K, so the 4K and the 1K and the 5K work time combined, and the 1K being its own score in the middle. You really had to be smart about energy management on the first 4K, so you could set yourself up for a strong 1K score. The 5K at the end, if you did the front part right, was going to be survival for only the last 2 to 3K. So really like 6 to 10 minutes of very, very hard work. If you peak too soon on the 4K, you're going to be in a tough spot on the 1K, or especially coming off the 1K. That 1K is almost not a max effort, but it's a sub-max sprint. You should be well inside your 2K PB pace on it. But again, I was trying to hold. I didn't want to see red on the 4K. 85%, just under 90% max heart rate was all I would allow myself. And what that did was it allowed me to recover pretty quick after the 4K. I still held a decent split. I was sub 143. And I was in a good position going into this 1K to nail a good time. What was interesting though about the 1K, this is probably the spot where I was a lot slower than I thought I'd be. I thought I'd be closer to 127 low, with the potential to maybe sneak just under, but I had very little drive. I might have just tried to row it a little bit too softly early. Still feeling the fatigue of the 4K, or maybe knowing the 5K was coming. Maybe deep down just being too conservative, but I didn't have great speed on this, and I didn't want to force it. The last thing I wanted to do was try and hit a target that was outside my capacity on that day. So I rode it pretty steady until the last 2 to 250 meters, and then really added some rate and pressure to finish. With only 30 seconds left on the piece, I could get away with increasing the speed and not necessarily crush myself before the 3 minutes of rest. That 3 minutes of rest should be enough to settle heart rate down, let the legs sort of loosen up a bit, and then get into the 5K. So disappointing to be 128 mid, but all things considered, on that day, that's the best I could do under the circumstances. After looking at it, it looks too casual to me. It's easy to look back and think, probably could have gone faster, but when I was in it, I knew that holding pace was the smart thing, and not trying to force it, and just sort of take what I was given. I didn't have to work incredibly hard to hit this time, but it was hard enough that I knew I couldn't go much faster than this. Getting into the 5K, I didn't feel bad, but I knew heart rate would get up pretty quick, and it would be a struggle to hold pace. I really wanted to finish faster than my 4K split, which was 142 high. So if I could finish closer to 142 even, I was going to be pretty happy with that. I am very thankful for one of the changes I've made in my training this year. If you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, or if you are a member of our training group, then you know I've incorporated a lot more higher rate, heart rate restricted training sessions, especially mid to long distance. So I do a lot of 5 to 6Ks when I have a chance at school on my lunch break, and on the weekends I try and fit in 10 to 12K efforts. I've gone longer a bit, but really trying to manage heart rate while at the same time allowing myself to rate fairly high. So up until this year, a lot of my long distance stuff was pretty low rate, 20, 22, maybe 24. Even 24 was hard. It was a stretch, and I was afraid of high rates. So practicing that, getting more comfortable at high rates has been huge for my confidence, especially on events like this, where being able to rate high under fatigue and keep the stroke light is a great way to manage your effort and intensity. So on this 5K, I spent most of my time around 144 pace for the first maybe 2 to 3K. And then what that allowed me to do was be in a position in terms of heart rate where I still had room to push. This is about as good as I could have rode this event on this day. Really happy with how this played out. I was hoping to be 142s and maybe a little faster on the 1K, but it is what it is. This was not an easy way to row 10K. Pretty uncomfortable final 10 minutes of that 5K, but we got through it. Looking forward to guessing something a little sharper for week 4. We'll see what they decide. Heck, they could throw something else long at us again. We'll see. Anyways, as always, I appreciate you watching. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to add them below.